Hi, my friends. My name is Trey Smith, and you're watching Trey's Myths and Tunes. And my daily ritual, Trey's timeless 15 minutes of explanation, complete disinformation from schizophrenic mind television. Today, my crazy and twisted hell could talk is called Changing Patterns, the God Self, and the Habit Mind. But first, some patterns we need to change collectively. Just say no to Nazi takeover plans. Just say no to all of them. Just say gnosis to the devil. No, we must maintain our sovereignty and rights and self respect. Because we've come too far to just give it all up for the inverted who don't respect us at all. Just 'cause they're so talented at mind control scams for 3D slaves. And can't you see? So I'll spend the whole day funky. I'll spend the whole day stoned. Finally clean out my camp so that I can clear out my head to make a new home. Is it the end or the beginning? How about another inning? About when you know true love is never ending. Changing patterns. The God self and the habit mind. Well, after almost 20 years in this exact spot, as a person I thought was a triple Sagittarius, turns out I'm an Ophiuchus. I came here in the middle of a massive, the biggest rainstorm that we've seen since these crazy artificial ones this year, in around 2003. So, when the sun was in Scorpio, so I'd be a Scorpio Taurus, double fixed. And my Chiron line, which, as I've said before, was an asteroid discovered a month and a half before I was born. My Chiron line and astrocartography runs. So I feel that my mother, my brother, and a lot of other people, like the guy I live with, the crazy amount of NPD and NPEs in his ego, to have compassion for the fixed zodiac sign individuals and how they suffer being stuck in their habits. And so, especially having been there, and just putting some of my old home in the trash bag because it's so moldy I can't use it because I didn't have it covered, unfortunately, during the last part of the river. Just because to admit a dark secret, I don't want anyone to know, suffering for fragments of nostalgia with my Jupiter in Cancer. Just, having to make myself have that yard sale or throw away these objects or have the discernment and self-respect to let go of, as Trey Anastasio said in his song, theme from the bottom, toss away stuff you don't need in the end, right? So you got to remember, again, as I've said many times, the dark side. If you have to have your way, often, not necessarily, but often, insistence is often the adversary, okay, or your ego, control, allowing the rainmaker, the parasitic entities in, okay. We are made in the likeness of the organic, original, divine creator, the sacred Mother, Father, Christos, and we are creators if we have the self-respect and discernment and discipline to take back those powers, to remember, even to begin to remember. Besides reproduction, spiritual and physical creations are human, aware, awake humans' forte. Art, nowadays, making videos, music, making up songs, poems, dance, inventions. They're harmless, like a bicycle. As I say before, those who came up with the respectful inventions are still rejoicing wherever they are, even when they pass. So, harmless inventions and forms of dance and music that are respectful. This is how we express the divine in 3D. Whereas negative thoughts, as I said, and we have physical and spiritual and dogma related implants, stress, survival mode, thinking in the terms of the physical individual self survival, the little me, the rent, property tax, trauma, traumatic abuse, etc., causes an increase in patterns of addiction. All addictions. So, healthy patterns, i.e., respectful or ital, may help with ascension. So, reprogramming yourself or reprogramming you, ideally, if you have a really addictive mind like me, to change your destructive habits for something not as destructive. For example, giving up sugar and becoming, just using the ketogenic products that are not going to cause the sugar to feed. Um, Healthy patterns, like this. What's interesting is this man, one of my first subscribers. Might have been my 10th subscriber that I met in the laundromat. Ian, I don't know if you're still there, brother. Peace and love. If you are, your statement that all attachments, are going to get in the way of going into the 5D. The man with the hat that says 5D on it. You have to let go of it all. I say that may be true in the long term, but it can be harsh in the short term. Being hard for me and having so much mental addiction, and then, with certain physical illnesses and feeling of a need for weed, for example. I say replace again. If you're an alcoholic, try to replace it with CBD, for example, or something that's less harmful. Because like if you're a stoner, for example, and you smoke all day, the emotional tones you generate through any kind of addiction. I see this all the time in this kind of Santa Cruz, California, being this sort of neverland for every kind of addict, from the Illuminati down to the people laying on the street, literally. You have narcissistic predator entities just infesting most of them, of course, and they feed at times exclusively on your addictions. The God Self, the original divine Christos, is pure, it's expansive, it's free. And if you're born on Turtle Island on USA property, you're born with free will, freedom to choose what you think, believe, eat, inject. You're not going to hurt anyone else. And knowing that the original creator is expansive and encouraging awareness, to say I'm stuck in a fucking rut is simply the ego and not the real self, or the Mahayana. Not sees. Not sees are the ones who not see. The not sees do not see. Okay. Try replacing that idea. Came from Indigo Angel. Try replacing or displacing the unaware habits with respectful patterns and substitutions, such as cannabis for alcohol or hard drug, like heavy cannabis concentrates. If you were a junkie or pharmaceutical addict or tweaker, for example, sometimes some people who have enough self-love and self-respect can get off these evil substances with heavy amounts of cannabis concentrates, for example. Opening your patterns, or sugar addiction for keto, as I say, opening your patterns to let in the light of the higher D. Okay, remember the slogan of the Satanists or the Luciferians or the secret societies is, reality is whatever you can get away with. Whatever mind control or whatever con or scam or killing you can get away with. Whereas the divine original creator's statement is, you can do anything you want, create, be anything you want, As long as you don't hurt or harm yourself or others, person, body, spirit, emotions, soul, possessions, etc. So you're free to create as long as you can somehow be harmless. And it's tricky in this inverted media. Psychedelic plants of all sorts can help you with this process greatly. And of course, through addiction, there can be a surrogacy. The same can be said for gurus if there are teachers, spiritual teachers on YouTube or myself or anyone. If they're teaching you the truth or helping you expand your awareness, they can greatly limit you or help you heal, help you expand. Remember the movie Shawshank Redemption? The old man, there was an old man that finally got out of jail. I don't know, it was either that or the other movie, Stephen King story about jail. And the old man got out of jail after 50 years and he hung himself. Well, when he got an apartment out of jail, he couldn't handle it being free. Well, unfortunately, a few of you are going to have to face that. What Marianne Williamson said is an accurate portrayal of a lot of us, since we were mind controlled by the deceiver to be this way. Our greatest fear is not our greatness. Our greatest fear is not our inadequacy. Our greatest fear is that we're more powerful than we can imagine, right? And we don't want to reclaim it because we're terrified of how the devil would kill us or mess with us, of course. But when you're in touch with your when you're in touch with your angel spirit guides that are respectful, they can help you stay out of the harm's way of these disrespectful beings. And this is why many people won't take me on as a teacher. They pretend to put it in their cell phone. They take my advertisement papers. And they never watch my channel, even some of my better friends, supposedly. Because the perception of habitual bondage to poverty, to isolation, to their ego, to the narcissistic predator, or that spirit of independence. I have to do it myself. I have to do it all myself. Won't allow them to learn from me because they perceive a guy in a tent or the forest can't teach, or this guy who's dependent financially can't teach. So donate money to this. If you learned, go to my PayPal right there and give me some money if you're a wealthy person and you learned something from this. And that would really help me to regain this perception, hologramic perception that I am a professional healer. And I give great thanks to YouTube and Odyssey for allowing me to learn to dial those skills in on the public space here. So addictions, poverty, isolation can just keep you stuck in your perceptual lockdown, And to perceive the God self, you're going to have to figure out one way or the other how to get beyond that. Bringing more objects into a dirty room, like if you take on my teachings and you're not willing to do the shadow work, for example, it's very much the same thing as bringing more stuff into a dirty room. First, you have to clean the room, and the same is true with your inner mind. You have to do the shadow work first. It's essential. I used to live in this house that my grandfather, who was a 33-degree Freemason, and his dad built before I was born, when my dad was a little boy, and during when my grandma was still alive, and after she died, and my spirit guides, I couldn't really get creative in there, and I wouldn't let myself smoke a bowl and play music until after I cleaned my room, because I knew that the energy would flow and I would be far more creative at that point. So people that don't do that are always bumping into the Draco thoughts in their mind. It's huge obstacles otherwise if you don't do the shadow work. They say it takes 1 month to change a pattern. Anything respectful, nurturing, beneficial can be put in your mandala. Ditto to acquired taste for improvement, learning, awareness, gnosis. God is open to all harmless, respectful creations. Remember that. Fear turns off creation, but God is open to the respectful creations and expansion and growing to be truly open to the patterns of original divine Christos thoughts and beliefs and beingness is the key to songs, to writing the song of your life. And if you enjoyed this, click subscribe, hit the notification bell for more, because I'm heavily shadow banned, and create a great one, my brothers and sisters. I love you, my family.